Hi, this is DarkFox127 and welcome to my first of, not really sure how many videos, but a tutorial on basically how to create your own cottage or house, dungeon, whatever you want. Link it to the world of Skyrim, and I'm going to just link these tutorials together so that the first will be building a small house is what I'm going to do. It's nice and simple, and then I will show you how to link it to the world. And then the next thing I will do, I will place an NPC within the house and give them a daily routine. So I'll be doing a package tutorial and showing you how to do all that, but it'll be over a span of a few tutorials, so you might have to wait a while for the next video to come up. So the first thing we want to do, you want to load up your Skyrim ESM file, and you want to go into your cell view here, and you want to find AAA markers. It'll be right at the top within interiors, and you want to right click on that and you want to say duplicate cell. Now obviously that just makes a copy of that cell, and all that is in the cell is a few markers. And so all we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to rename this. So if we press F2 on it, let's just call it player house. And if you click off it, you'll see it's disappeared. So if you just click in cell view, then type in player, there we go. Our player house has shown up. So just double click that. And if we zoom out, which you can use, excuse me, yeah, you can use using your scroll button on your mouse. We've got all these markers here. Now the easiest way to get rid of these, we don't actually want them, we just want a blank space we can use. So if you just click down here, drag across and get rid of all of those there. So press delete on them when they're highlighted, say yes, and they'll disappear. Now they don't disappear out of the cell view here straight away, so if we just click onto something else and then click back onto it, it usually refreshes. So we now know what's actually in there. Now as you can see, the window is completely blank, so there's nothing in here. There's further things we can do. We can right click on our player house in the cell view, click edit, and you can change a number of things here. I'm not going to go into detail into all of it, it's something for a later tutorial, but the one thing we want to do is go to interior data. The name, we can actually change the name, so that's going to be player house. And you can set an owner, so if you were to set an owner, so a certain NPC owns it, that would mean that everything in the house, or most items, would then be classed as stealing. So that's a way of making it so you can't just go into the house and take whatever you want without any consequence. You can do the same with owner faction, so a faction can own it, so anyone in that faction could actually take anything out of it, but anybody out of the faction couldn't. Another thing in here is lighting. This can be pretty important, so usually you can just keep it how it is and then just see how you like the lighting, or you can change it so it has a certain warm feeling to it and then you add your lighting. It gets quite confusing. You have to get a good combination of your interior lighting and then your lighting that you put in yourself. Common data, that's just all sorts, the location of where it is in the world. I don't think you actually have to set that, but you can do that. Music types, you can have a certain music playing. A lot to play with there, I'm not going to go through it now, I'm just going to cancel that actually. Oh no, I didn't want to cancel, never mind. Doesn't need naming, it's just to make it nicer. Although, actually, yes it does. Yes, what the name does, I think this name is what will appear when you go up to the door to go in. So, it would say door 2 and then insert this name here. Yep. So we'll just leave that. So we've got player house, so we've got a cell to work with now. So next thing we want to do is we're going to make a house. So we're going to go into world objects here, and then we're going to go into static, and this is where we always go to build anything like dungeons or houses, and the one that we want today is architecture. So if we just go into there, and the one I usually use is farmhouse. You can use a lot of others, but this is the one that I'm usually used to working with. So if we just want to put something in to start with, narrow down our search and we'll go to interior. That's a bit better. Now let's have a think. So we want the end of a farmhouse. So you just drag that in, and as you can see, there it is. Now if we want to rotate round this, hold down shift, then just move your mouse and you can look around. Zoom in, as I said, with the scroll button. And if you want to move in this sort of way, then you just click down your mouse scroll button and then move the cursor. So it gives you a pretty easy way of navigating around when you're building. Don't really want that piece actually. I have to try and remember all of the pieces that go together. There are certain pieces go together with other things. Some of them don't click very easily. You have to go through an awful lot of them. Usually they make some sense, so anything farm in to, so anything with that, they usually go together in some form or fashion. So they're organised to some sort of fashion. The first thing you want to do when you place your first piece is just double click on it, and as you can see here, the position is all over the place. And what we want to do, we want to centre it just to the centre of the cell. So set these to 0. You can double click tab on each of them to get down to the next one, and just put 0 on all of them. Click OK, and sometimes you won't be able to see that. It will disappear. You'll be like that, and you'll be like, where's it gone? So just to get back to where you are, just double click there, and it will send you straight back to that piece that you've double clicked on. So that is now in the centre of our cell. So the next thing you want to do, you just want to piece things together. Like I said, usually quite easy. The one thing that we are going to want here, obviously, is a doorway. So I'm not sure if this is the one. No, wait, you'll have to bear with me. There's different ones. You can get it set as a door in the basement, and then there's a door in the top. This one is only a door in the basement, so we don't want that. We've got a fireplace. Sometimes it's a little picky. You can't exactly get what you want. You have to work with it. Now, as you can see, these aren't clicking together. So you want to go up here and you want to tick both of these here, and that basically rotates it to a degree or an angle. There's a quicker way of doing that. It's Control and Q to knock that one off, and then just Q to knock that one off. So that saves you from moving your mouse all the way over there. But they should then click together. Spin that round, and there's our door. So we've got a door and we've got a basement that we can go into. Now if you have seen my followers pack, I'm just basically going to build pretty much what I've done for Vaden, and this is the way I have it. I just have, you go in and you've got a room on the right. So I'm going to show you how to use dividers to divide rooms, and you've just got your general kitchen up the top, eating place, hallway, and then in the bottom is where I have them sleep. You can have it however you want, and you can even build a bigger house than this. But for now, we'll just continue. We'll need. Is that what I think it is? Yep. Want a fireplace. So that one has a fireplace. As you can see, that clicks in. We'll want an end piece now. Now what I tend to do, I do try and make the interior make some sense with the exterior. That'll make more sense when I come to actually place the house in. So when you go in, it's shaped the same as how it is outside. So if we're just going to want another end piece here. What piece is that? That's 2. So like I said, it does make logical sense sometimes. No, we don't want that one. We're going to want that one. No, we're not. We don't want one with a ladder. There we go, that's the one we want. So now we've just got a bog standard little farmhouse. So if you do place a piece and you don't want to have to keep dragging them in, and you want the game to suggest to you one that you can use, I think it's either F, is it? I think it's Control and F. If you click on the item and then Control and F, it takes a little while. Yep, that's the button. and as you can see, it loads up a little box here, so search and replace. Now, if you click in here, it brings up close to the options that are similar to the piece that you've selected, and then you can click on it and replace it. You click OK, that will replace it with an N3 rather than 2. Don't want to do that, but that's a quick way of doing things. It's good for tables as well. So if you have a noble table and you want just an upper class or bog standard table, it'll come up with them options. I'll show you that a bit later on. But yeah, we've got a nice basic house now, which we can work with. So you could just go ahead and start adding items now, but I'm going to divide the basement into a room. So that's the next thing I'm going to show you to do. So let me have a think. Where are we? If you go up the top here, we've got 4 dividers. Now, number 1 divider should be just a bog standard wall, as you can see. So we'll drag that. Because of how the wall curves, and if I can show you here, the way that the wall curves, we'll end up with a gap just there. So you can just embed it through the wall a bit more. So as you can see now, we don't have a gap as we do there. So just push it across. That'll be fine. And then you just right click and duplicate. Another way of doing that for copying objects is just, what is it? Control and D, I think. Yep, Control and D. So there's a lot of shortcuts, ways of doing things. We'll put the wall in the middle. So if we just drag that out of the way a moment. Again, you could click this and you can go Control F, give it a moment to load. Let's have a swig of me tea. And it'll actually come up with something close to it. So it's come up with divider 2. So if we click OK, it'll actually change into a door, which is what we want. So we'll have that. And then we'll connect another wall. So as you can see, it's starting to take a pretty good shape. And we're going to want a door in there next. So that's a bit different. Under world objects and door, so we don't want a static door because static means you can't. It's not active. It's just there. It won't move. It stays in place. Door wouldn't move. So we want one which will actually move. So if you go into door under world objects, so we're no longer in static, and then you want to just follow through architecture, farmhouse, and we've got a list of doors. Now, there is a difference between a normal door and a load door. A normal door will just open and you'll go straight through it. A load door will only open slightly and you'll see just a blackness behind it, and that will actually be a load door, so it will load into another cell and then you link it. We'll be doing that later on. So we've got farmhouse door 01, I think it is, and that should just slide in nicely. And let's just have a think. It might be farmhouse animation door, but we'll see. That should be fine. If you just double click on it, what you can actually do with doors to make sure that they're not going to open in your face, you can double click and open by default. Click that and it'll actually show the door open. Now I thought I'd click the wrong one, so if we just delete that, I think it's actually farmhouse anim door, so it's an animated door. It will open and close. So if you double click that, open by default, and as you can see, it shows you what the door will be like when it's opened, and you can actually leave it like that. So by default the door is just always open, so it's a little more welcoming into the room. So actually, yeah, we'll leave it like that. So it opens inwards, which is good because that's the way you're going to want it to open. And then in here you can just start placing objects. I think we're done for room dividers. I usually divide there, but it's going to cut the fireplace a little close to the wall. But as I said, you can rearrange it. You can have the fireplace at the bottom if you want, find the right pieces for it. But we'll leave this nice and open, so it's quite welcoming.